Hey everybody, this is Jeremiah Craig, and I am joined again by Aaron Watson. And after last week's video, where we looked at the differences between the Tecova boots and the Cuero boots, this week we want to do round two and look at the differences in between the businesses. Let's get into it. Thanks again for joining me today, Aaron. I am really interested to hear about the Cueros, your thoughts on it, and where we left off last video. I remember that it ended with you saying that you had to send them back because the fit wasn't quite right. How are you still feeling about that?
I was excited at first. I would have tried another size. The main reason I got turned off was because when I needed a different size, which was I was going to try the wide. Trying to get a 10.5 wide, they told me it would have been 60 days. And that's just not a good look for a business.
Yeah, and that's something that I want to get into with you on this video, where we're talking about the differences in between the businesses, because they have stirred up quite a bit of drama after Tecovas has, come out with their direct to consumer, and then Cuero seems to have copied that model. And I'm using quotes here because I don't want to get sued. But we'll get into some of the facts on this video, and I kind of want to present you with all the information. Now, everybody watching, Aaron doesn't know all of the details that I've sort of organized between the comparison. I want to get his reaction to them. I was, messaging him excitedly when I found some things here and there, but other than that, he doesn't know how I've organized this video. And I want to do the comparisons based off of three different aspects. We're going to start with the story behind the businesses. So Tecovas, I was doing some research. The CEO, Paul Hedrick, worked in finance in New York City. Now, he was one of the only people at his company to wear boots every single day. But he says that he wears a pretty expensive brand, but he didn't have a favorite brand, which, I don't know. For some of you folks, it seems like most people who are really into cowboy boots have a favorite brand. I definitely do. Aaron, do you have a favorite brand?
I thought I did for a while, but I find that the more I try different boots, the more I find that I don't think I've found that perfect brand yet. For right now, I think Tecovas and Abilene fit me the best.
You won me over on the favorite brand thing for Paul. All right, I thought that was a big deal for me, but you've convinced me that maybe not having a favorite brand isn't that big of a deal. So on one of his work consulting jobs, he worked for a company that was really into the customer experience, and he thought that he really liked working in that business. So he noticed the boots opportunity and that he didn't have a favorite boot. He noticed the customer experience opportunity in the boot market and then sort of combined them. So he left his finance job when he was 27 or 28 to start Tecovas.
Wow.
Yeah, based off of direct consumer and focusing on the customer experience, which is obviously something that they've done. Anybody who's worked with Tecovas knows that they're all about the customer experience and the customer service.
Sure.
The story behind Cuero. So it started by Arctic Coolers. I'm sure you're familiar with that company. It started by Jim and John Jacobson. And they stated in one interview just recently, within the past few months, that they noticed an opportunity to bring boots to more people at a cheaper price direct to consumer online.
Okay.
Basically the same thing that Tecovas is doing.
Yeah.
In so many words.
And a few years later.
Yeah, 3 years later. They started out by making cheap moving boxes. Then they made mattress in a box. then they made Arctic coolers, and now they're making Cuero Cowboy boots.
Wait. So
Okay.
what mattress did they make?
It was hard to find the actual company. I didn't really find. I found one, but I couldn't be certain that that was the right one.
No, that sounds about right, because those companies are coming and going so quickly because of customer experience. They can't keep up with the cost of the returns.
Yeah.
So many customers are unsatisfied with the bed because even the people that start the companies, they don't test the damn beds.
Okay, I didn't know this.
It's the same type of thing that you're talking about right now. These two people decided to start a mattress company. You know, they didn't buy a bed and try it. Come on. You know what I mean? And so they're sending these beds out to hundreds of people, and who knows if they're going to be satisfied, and then they fail. So it wouldn't surprise me if you can't find them. That's crazy. I did not know that.
In the same interview, they said that their specialty is not boxes or tumblers or mattresses. It's their ability to process big and bulky items to ship them to you. So that is their specialty. Their specialty is shipping, not in the actual product. They literally said that.
Wow. Okay. So how do they decide what product to choose then?
We'll get into that.
Okay.
So that's actually a great segue into the next part. The next part that I want to get into comparing these two companies is originality. Okay, so first I want to say that neither one of these companies came up with the idea to make cowboy boots. You cannot patent a cowboy boot, but both companies do the direct-to-consumer cowboy boot model. So that means they have completely surpassed the middleman. They're not going through Boot Barn or Cavender's or Hewlett & Dunn. They're going directly to the consumer. Now, Tecovas was definitely first at this. Their Facebook page was created on January 19th, 2015, and their story is original. On Cuero's story and their originality, their Facebook page, like I said, was started last year in May 20th of 2018 to be exact. Now, their story is less detailed, but almost an exact copy of Tecovas.
Yeah.
So if you look at their about section on their Facebook page, you will see pretty much a cheap copy of what Tecovas says. Okay, I'm going to read you some of it. I'm just pulling it up now. Growing up in Houston, cowboy boots were part of our culture, and as founders of Arctic Outdoors, we began to naturally question why the prices by the luxury boot brands were so expensive. The worst part of it is it doesn't say that they wore cowboy boots.
No.
It just says it was part of their culture. It gets better though. Okay? So if you go on to Tecovas Story, their Our Story page on their website, it says there are over 200 steps involved in making a pair of Tecovas cowboy boots. Now, when you go to Cuero Boots About section on Facebook, it says there are over 220 steps involved in making a pair of Cuero boots. I mean, come on. You're going to just say 200. It's like the Price is right? I mean, I bid 100. I bid 101. Come on. Like, that's so obvious. It's like they went point by point down the Tecovas About Me page and just tried to one-up every little thing. But that one just irks me. As a marketer, it's like facepalm all day.
Yeah. It strikes me as strange that this is even legal, really.
That is interesting that you say that. There's nothing wrong with these business models. You can do that. It's not, illegal to take somebody's story and then change it around a little bit. I mean, it's enough different that they can't get sued or they can't get blamed for copying. Like, I mean, I'm blaming them for copying, but legally that means nothing, right? I'm just some dude on the internet saying this is a little bit sketchy, right? But they can't get sued for this. But they do have a history of lawsuits. Yeti was making coolers 10 years before these two brothers started the Arctic cooler line, and they made a cooler that looks exactly the same. I believe this is in 2017. There was a lawsuit. Yeti sued Arctic because they were claiming that there was too much copying going on of their products. And Yeti has a patent for their cooler designs. And Arctic did not see that lawsuit through. They actually settled and they agreed to start redesigning their coolers. Now, some people might say, well, they might not have the money to pay for lawyers, and other people might say they backed off because they actually were copying. And basing my opinion off of these two cooler looks, it kind of looks like that was the case, that they were just copying.
Sure. Yeah, they look identical to me. I would have to agree. It definitely looks like a straight copy.
We already proved that they did not copy the Tecova boot line by line. It is a different boot, but it does look very similar.
It does. It does. It looks almost identical. Can't copyright a cowboy boot, so I don't know how Tecovas would respond to that, but it seems like Arctic is, or the brothers of Arctic are choosing what products they want to sell or they want to invest in by the customer market bases that are booming at the given time.
Now, this leads me to my next point that I want to talk to you about, is their advertising, because we were talking about how they're kind of taking the Tecovas business model with similar looking boots and going direct to consumer. Now, they're also using a similar type of advertising. Tecovas uses a lot of Facebook advertising. I mean, if you search Tecovas once, if you went to Tecovas website once, you will see their ads forever online.
Yeah. They have an ad gremlin that will follow you around for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life. Now, I have to say that that doesn't really bother me. I love their ads, and they have a bunch of them. There is a way to look at how many ads that a company is running on Facebook after Facebook increased their transparency. So I went to see how many ads Tecova was running at the time of this video. They are running 51 different ads. Wow. 51. You might think, as a regular consumer, why the hell would you want to run 51 ads? It's because you can specifically target people within Facebook. So right. Your experience is going to be unique to you. They will not give you any women's boots ads, Aaron's, because they know that you won't buy them unless they're trying to get you to buy one for your wife.
Right.
The sheer fact that they have 51 ads and they are putting the time into targeting them specifically to different people shows me that they care about your experience with their brand. It takes more money, or it takes more work, but you get more for your money when you do it that way.
I mean, personally, I enjoy their ads. I enjoy anything cowboy boot related. I don't just enjoy their ads. I enjoy everybody's ads, whether it's Dan Post or Luke Casey. You see more Dan Post than anything, really. Dan Post or La Hacienda Boot Company. I see a lot of that. But I enjoy any ads, and I have no problem with Facebook's advertising, though I can see how that may be a little bit irksome to some people, especially if they're not, too keen on on online advertising or even online purchasing.
I then looked at the Cuero advertisements on Facebook, and I found that they are running 5 ads right now.
Okay.
So
10%.
which is understandable. They're new, so they just launched their boot like a month ago. So I mean, they're ramping up. That's understandable. However, they are running the same ad to all markets pretty much. This is super expensive. Coming from a marketer's perspective, if you sort of push out the same ad to a whole bunch of different people, then you're not going to get as much reception overall. So, for example, their price war ad, which I'm sure everyone saw, that was the ad that I saw, that you saw, that inspired us to do the last video about Tecovas versus Cuero. That ad is being run to everybody. So if you look through the comments on that ad, women are commenting about how there's no boots for women. Now, if they set that up correctly, then they wouldn't even send those ads to women without actually having those boots available to them, in my opinion. Now, it can, they still could be targeting women with husbands who like cowboy boots. That is a possibility, but still, it's super expensive. And as a company that's just starting out, you are kind of taking a risk there. You want your targeting, in my opinion, to be as on point as possible. Now, the other thing, that ad, like we said, inspired us to do that last video. And previously, there were comments on those ads about how they looked just like Tecovas and how it could be a ripoff. Do you remember seeing any of those comments on those ads?
I can't find them anymore, but I did see about 4 comments. Some of them, 2 of them, I think were pretty long-winded, and 2 of them were fairly short. But yeah, I can't find them anymore.
That's the thing. You can't find them anymore, and neither can I. And that means they deleted those comments, because that's the same ad. So they're going through their comments and deleting every mention of Tecovas. Right now, there's almost 300 comments on that ad, and I went through every one of them, and the only other boot company that is mentioned is Dan Post. Tecovas does not come up once in their ads. So they're clearing out all mentions of Tecovas, making it seem like they don't even exist.
That's crazy.
Yeah, totally. I agree. And that brings me to the conclusion here that I got for you. So based off of all of this information, in my opinion, if you already haven't gotten to this point of thinking what my opinion is, Cuero seems to me to be copying Tecovas' business model, period. They are, to me, it seems like they're trying to take away market share. And I don't see how they can actually make money off of their boots right now. They make a good quality boot, as we saw previously. So, I mean, they aren't on par with the $150 boots that you see from Ariat or Justin's. It's such a better quality than that. So, I don't see how they're making any money. I really don't think that they are. It just seems to me like Cuero is trying to take away that market share.
Right.
And the price war, they don't actually call out Tecovas in their price war ad, but everybody knows it. Everybody knows they're calling out Tecovas.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, that was the first thing I thought of when I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And I even still tried them. So, I mean, I guess I'm more guilty than some, but
well, we got to know.
It's yeah, we got to know. We got to know. For sure, especially as enthusiasts, we got to know, but I have to agree with you, man.
I just want to say that what Cuero and the founders of Arctic Coolers is doing right now is legal. This is completely okay as far as business is concerned. But is it ethical? Is it trustworthy? Is it something that you want to support, that I want to support? At the moment, I gotta say, I'm not super comfortable now after doing all this research supporting a company that is just copying. I mean, this is how China has gotten such a bad rap in America, because they copy products to a T and then they ship them over and just undercut on price, right? So they're doing the same thing as China right now. And to me, I don't know if I feel comfortable supporting that.
Whether or not something's okay in a legal standpoint, there's always ethics that are concerned. And chivalry is a dying thing. Honor is a dying thing. You know, pride and respect are dying things, unfortunately, in these generations. And it's definitely not ethical. Anybody with two eyes and a brain can see it's not ethical. But there's plenty of people out there that'll just say, hey, you know, it's a cheaper boot, whatever.
And that's okay too, because a lot of people don't have the 200 to 250 bucks to spend on a pair of Tecovas.
It's crazy good deal, and it is definitely crazy good quality. I'm assuming they're losing money, you know, versus what Tecovas is priced at, saying that they're already cutting out the middleman and having their boots priced well for the public. Going lower than what they're selling it at is, you know, quite the stretch. Mm-hmm. That would be assuming that, okay, well, that means Luke Casey and similar bootmakers are charging, you know, 1,000% markup, 800% markup, which is pretty bold. So I got to assume that they're losing some money, and no company can keep that up forever. Still can't agree with it. I'm definitely glad I sent it back.
And the Tecovas customer experience, their customer service is just amazing. Like, they will reach out to you. They want to make sure that you are happy with their boots. That is their passion. And it's obvious it trickles from the top down. Like, there's no way anybody else would feel the same or would have that much passion about reaching out to specific consumers on a one-on-one basis if Paul didn't instill that as a basic foundational thing. And I just don't see the same thing from Cuero right now. If they're deleting comments on their Facebook ads, that's just not the kind of thing that Tecovas stands for. So you guys know how Aaron and I think about the Tecovas versus Cuero round 2 on the business side of things. But what do you guys think? And I'm not going to judge. Aaron's not going to judge if you base your opinion specifically on price. It's totally cool. We understand. I like the customer experience a little better. It feels like it's a longer lasting brand. It feels like they are trying to really make an impact in the cowboy boot industry, which is why I am drawn to them, which is why we are both drawn to them in the first place. It's because they're making a huge impact. And I want to know what you guys think, though. So put your comments down below. Don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to subscribe too, because we're doing a whole bunch of things. Nobody else is making videos like this, so why haven't you subscribed yet, right?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
See you later, guys.
Well, it depends on what you're looking for when it comes to Tecovas versus Cuero. Are you looking at just price, looking to keep things fair, or are you looking at a brand that you can love forever? And how will you make that decision? Tecovas versus Cuero. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching today. Peace.